Hi, I'm William Mills, and I'm here today with Greg Palmer, who's Vice President and Director of Fintech Strategy at the Finovate Group. How you doing today, Greg?
Oh, I'm just fine, William. Thanks so much for having me.
I appreciate you being here. It's great to see you today, but I'm also looking forward to seeing you at FinovateFall, September 9th in New York City. So, Greg, tell us about your background and your experience. And for those that are not yet familiar with Finovate, what is a Finovate conference and what makes it unique in the financial industry?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So I joined Finovate way back in 2010, if you can believe it. There was such a thing as fintech in 2010. It wasn't what we think of it as today, but Finovate has had a very similar format since that time. And really, what makes Finovate unique is that our show focuses around live demos of new and innovative financial technology. When we say live demos, we mean it. No slides allowed, no canned video. It's
Mhm.
very much a sink or swim environment. We want to see the technology actually working live up in front of the audience. So, from an innovator's standpoint, it's a really great place to come and prove that your technology is good, that it's relevant. From a attendee standpoint, it's a terrific place to come and see a lot of different innovations in a very short amount of time. Each company gets just 7 minutes up there to show their piece. And as soon as they're done, the bell rings, we move on to the next company. Interspersed with the demos, we have a lot of thought leadership pieces as well. We'll hear from venture capitalists, from senior bankers, from analysts, anybody who basically is in a position to talk about where the fintech industry is going, what you should be paying attention to, and all of that's designed to help put the demos into a broader context. So you leave the event not only hearing about new technologies that are potentially game changers for you and your organization, but also hearing some new ideas, new ways of thinking that can help you put those ideas into practice in a way that makes sense.
Well, one thing I've always enjoyed about the Finovate events is the demo companies show real technology in use. They don't show PowerPoints, they don't show presentations, they don't show videos. They show the software, how it works.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And it gets very exciting. Let me tell you, backstage, it's a very high pressure environment, as you can probably imagine. Part of my job, I host the events. So I'm out there on stage introducing each company. A large part of my job is actually backstage as well, trying to keep everybody calm, making sure everybody's ready to give their best presentation. There's nothing we like more at Finovate than providing a platform for somebody to go and leap from. It's a really visible place to call attention to all the things that make your technology really cool and exciting. Of course, it is a big deal. It is just 7 minutes, and there's a lot riding on those 7 minutes. We totally understand that piece, and we do everything we can to make sure all of our demoers are calm, are ready, and are able to get up there. So a large part of what I do backstage is just making sure everything's ready to go, making sure that the tech is ready, but also that the individual presenters are ready, because that's such a crucial mental side of it. And we love it when companies are able to get up there and really share their story.
Oh, it's been fascinating. And since Finovate has been a key event for me and the industry for more than 15 years, tell us about the evolution of Finovate and how has it prospered and changed during your tenure?
Yeah, so certainly there have been some big picture changes, not only with Finovate, but in the fintech industry as a whole. And one of the things that we've really had to do is make sure that we're able to keep tabs on what's going on, and also that we're able to, from an AV standpoint, display what the innovations can actually do. Whatever types of hardware people throw our way, we need
Right.
to be able to display that up on stage in a way that makes it really easy for the audience to see what's going on. In the early days, Finovate was a much, much smaller show. Way back in 2010, 2011, the idea that we would have bankers actually coming was kind of a pipe dream. And now it's become a place where we get over half of our audience comes from credit unions and other financial institutions, including large multinational mega banks, all the way down to local community banks and credit unions. We have last year's FinovateFall, we had all of the top 20 largest financial institutions confirmed. This year, we already have 18 of them with a couple months still to go. And we'll get something like 40 plus of the top 50 banks in the United States by assets under management. And of course, a large number of much smaller financial institutions. We've lately seen more of those smaller FIs starting to come, which is really a positive thing. These are the organizations that really need help, who are, in a very real sense, fighting for their survival. They have to do so on a budget that is laughable compared to what someone like, a JP Morgan or a Citi or Bank of America can
Right.
spend, but they have to make sure they're competitive. And so here's where a lot of our tech companies are also shifting, where initially a lot of them are pointing their technology towards some of those big banks a lot of them now are realizing that smaller FIs actually have a really important role to play in our economy, are really important for them, for the innovators, I should say, to actually get their products out there. So, the dynamic of the audience has shifted a little bit. It's going to continue to shift. We're in an area right now where things are still changing rapidly. So, our job at Finovate is to make sure we respond to the way the market is moving, make sure we're highlighting the key audience segments and giving everybody who comes something specific that they can take back to their home organization. And again, that's where it gets really fun when you get to walk the room and you see these connections happening. You
Right.
see somebody with really cool technology. They're talking to a senior level executive from a financial institution who can actually use that technology. And that's where the magic happens. And then next thing you know, 6 months later, you see a press release, hey, so-and-so is launching new technology. And it's really satisfying for us when we see that because we think, we played a part. We helped put those people together. And that's where Finovate can become really satisfying. That's the one piece I would say that hasn't changed over the years at Finovate. At the end of the day, it's really just about connecting people, putting people in touch with ideas and technologies. And it's a very senior level audience. So the people that come are able to actually move the needle very quickly once they find those technologies or ideas that they like.
So for those folks that are putting together their calendar for the rest of the year, um, who would benefit most from attending Finovate Fall, and why should they consider attending?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of reasons to attend, and it depends on what kind of role you serve. In a really broad sense, anybody who's looking for new innovations or is struggling to overcome a problem or a challenge of some kind, who suspects there might be a technological solution out there for them, these are the people who really can benefit from coming to a show like Finovate Fall. Now, there are a lot of different people who, if you come for the first time, sometimes you're just sort of sticking your toe in the water and seeing what's out there. We have a lot of people now who've been multiple times over the years, and they come in with a very targeted focus. I'm looking specifically for X type of technology, or I'm looking specifically for a solution to Y type of problem. That's a totally valid way to do it. For me, I always encourage the attendees to keep an open mind because you never know what you might see. And in a situation like we have this year, where so many of our demoing companies are brand new to Finovate, there's this sense of excitement that you just don't know what you could see there. So I encourage everybody to watch as many of the demos as you can, keep a really open mind and see how could I play with some of this new technology that's being displayed. Some of the most fun partnerships are the ones where neither side actually had any idea that they needed the other until they came to Finovate, heard that 7-minute pitch and said, hey, actually, that sounds like the perfect thing for me. So that's really the part that, again, gets me really excited about it. But I do always enjoy it when people come in looking for a specific solution to a specific problem.
So I've been asked, how does a fintech startup know when they're ready to demo at Finovate?
Oh, that's a great question. And there definitely is a little bit of danger in going too soon and a little bit of danger in going too late. Typically the sweet spot is once you have a working demo where it's not a mock-up, it's not something in Figma, it's not, this is what we intend to build, but you've actually built something, you've coded something, and you're kind of ready to throw the sheet off in that sort of aha moment. Those
Right.
are the companies that really are perfect for coming to Finovate. If you come too soon and you don't have your technology ready to go, then the demo itself might not be as compelling as it would be a little bit later on. On the flip side, if you wait a little bit too long, the market may already know about it. You don't get that same kind of, oh, wow, that's something brand new type of response that you might get if you came earlier. So, the sweet spot for us tends to be right after the kind of beta is finished or is just about wrapping up. The technology's maybe been seen by a couple of people, it's tested, it's ready to go, but you're now ready for that broader audience. That's the perfect time to come to Finovate.
So what advice would you give to a first-time attendee at Finovate?
First time attendee. Well, so the first thing is get into the app early. We have a really great networking app which allows you to go and connect with other people. By setting up a profile early, you can list out, these are the types of companies I want to meet. This is the type of technologies that I'm interested in. And then we'll start to suggest people so you can come into the event with a lot of meetings already set up before you even step onto the floor on day one. The other thing that I would recommend is to do a little bit of homework in terms of which companies are going to be presenting. A lot of our demoers will give us what we call sneak peeks, a quick overview of what they're going to be showing. It's a really good idea to go through that. It doesn't take much time at all. Each company blurb is only a couple of sentences long. But by coming in and having a good idea already, hey, these are some technologies that I know are going to be interesting. These are some demos that I want to make absolutely sure I see. It allows you to set your schedule up really nicely. And then you can find this balance between spending time in the auditorium, looking at the demos and other content, and also in the networking floor, making sure you're having productive meetings. If you're able to find that balance, that's how you can really make Finovate work for you and leave with, as I said, those new ideas, ideas of new technologies, and of course, the connections that can really back all of those up and turn into action.
Well, in closing, what else would you like to share about Finovate, FinovateFall, and the broader impact of Finovate in the financial industry?
Well, I think the big piece is just if you look at kind of the who's who in fintech, you look at companies that you think of as being really successful giants in this space, so many of them have Finovate demos. And so many of them got their start at Finovate, or at least used Finovate as a launch pad to propel themselves forward. And one of my favorite things, whenever somebody says, "Have you heard about this company?" I say, "Yeah, I've heard about them." And I can send you a link to their demo video. If you are looking to really get a sense of what Finovate is all about, I would encourage you to think of some of those really big companies that maybe are on your radar now. Google it. Google that company name and Finovate. See if you can find a video. See if you can see what they did with their 7 minutes, how they used Finovate as a launch pad to propel themselves forward. So many of those companies have come across our stage. We really feel connected to the companies who are on our alumni roster. And we love seeing companies as they continue to grow. Start with here's version 1.0, here's version 2.0. Maybe they get some feedback, have a pivot. Here's a different take on it. We love to see that evolution, but most importantly, we love to see so many of our alumni out there in the marketplace doing amazing things and helping out banks, helping out customers in a very real world way.
Well, Greg, I really appreciate you taking the time to visit with me today, and I look forward to seeing you at Finovate Fall in New York, September 9th.
Always a pleasure, William. See you there.
Thanks.